It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and of course, you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, and folks, he's sitting here today for 17 years. Days like today would be his first preseason game of the season. Expected to play all the time. A little different nowadays, but Dale Hillestrate's here, everybody.
Good morning, Steven. You got a lot of energy for having a long drive yesterday.
I'm tired today,
and
man.
see nothing.
I got to see people. I got to see the good folks up there, man. I got
Right.
a ALA Ironwoods coaching staff. Got to talk to them for a little bit. It's good. Yeah, it's good. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good this year in 3A.
I know the Gilbert Christian head coach.
I didn't get to see him at all. I don't know where they were hiding at. I also don't walk around into the gym and I don't walk around like I own the place. So I didn't get to see him very much. The ALA coach was just standing by me, and he's a good dude, from what I understand. So,
Okay.
And everything. But they're going to be good this year in 3A. And obviously you saw Mike Sheehan and the coaching staff there and everything on SCA sides. Got there, weather delay when we pulled in. Yeah, when we left the house, I was watching the weather because I'm like, I'm not driving if it's going to lightning and rain. You know?
Right.
I'm not doing it. It was clear. There was nothing on the radar when I left the house. Boy, did that change quickly.
In an hour.
Yeah. Lightning. We got there and I was like, oh, there's a weather delay. People are just mulling around up here up on the concourse.
Right.
In the school area. So I was like, so we get up there and guys all, weather delay. I'm like, all right, we'll hang out. I go, we'll give it 30 minutes, hang out, and then we're out of here.
Right.
And I don't even think it took that long. When they walked down, they're like, done. Storm's still coming, so we're just going to call it.
Okay.
Like, all right, whatever. I mean, safety first, right? But it would have been nice for all of those teams to hit somebody else.
Yes.
And that's I was talking to one of the coaches on one of the teams. I'm not going to say which one, but they were like, man, we really wanted to see our kids hit somebody else. Because, Dale, there's kids right now that are in practice. They're probably looking really good.
Yeah.
You get to live action, and maybe they're not going to look as good. Maybe they're not going to like that as much.
You don't know. I always enjoyed those scrimmages because first time you hit somebody else.
Yep.
And usually we were playing a team that's bigger than us.
In ALA Ironwood.
Yeah.
I saw that some of those guys on 3A were, like I said, there's a big difference between 2A and 3A in size, folks.
Yes, there is.
It is a noticeable difference. So that's the thing. Then for SCA's case, you're stepping up to another level.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get hit like that in most of your games. Let's put it that way.
Right. And so I always look forward to it. I didn't really care, obviously, we won or lost. I wanted to see if our guys backed away from the physicality and things like that.
And that's what I mean. I don't want to call them wusses or stuff like that, but
right.
It can be an eye-opener from those people that do practice well. But in the games that, the lights get bright and, you see it in the pros all the time, right?
Yeah.
And in college and stuff like that. So that was the opportunity missed last night. For me personally, I was looking forward to, obviously seeing a new quarterback, because Mike said yesterday he was going to throw a lot. All right, let's see. We were talking with Mike after you left. I forgot. This is the quarterback that filled in with that 1 year with the suspensions in the playoffs when the other team started to fight and players left the bench.
Yep.
He filled in, and I like the way he threw the ball because I specifically told you and Mike, you got a kid that can throw the football in your future with this kid after that game he filled in at. And everything. So I was excited to see him kind of throw the ball around last night. Didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately. And so next time we see SCA, it's going to be against Pima.
Well, you hope so.
Well, it might be a Thursday, Friday. It might be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. You don't know.
It's just one of those things. Just seems like early in the season that there's always this uncertainty in the air of, are you going to really be able to play? And so now they have to go a whole nother week, and then the first time they'll hit somebody else's real game.
I was talking to a few of the coaching staff and just asking them their thoughts, with the kids, and nothing bad. It's just this is like like I said, I've equated it yesterday. I think it might have been after you left. It might have been when you were here with Mike, with the head coach. I just said, I go, this season reminds me of 2 seasons ago when you're breaking in won your first championship with kind of like a veteran team that he quote unquote inherited, right?
Right.
For that first year. Then you basically were rebuilding, man. New linemen that, juniors, sophomores, linemen, new quarterback. And that season didn't go well at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And, you guys, they were able to turn it on, improvements as the season went on. And that's what I'm fascinated to find out. Is there going to be more of that season? Because they got some hard games to start. Well, at least on paper, some hard games coming up. We'll see when talent gets out there and stuff. But so it's going to be fun to watch, man. This is going to be an exciting beginning of the season for high school football for them as well and everything. So, yeah, drove an hour drove 2 hours yesterday to talk to some people.
It looked like you took all your frustrations out on some innocent bystander somewhere that didn't really bystand or whatever.
No, that's that dude that's that loudmouth dude that's always attacking them, and he's the guy that, after I never said that. I'm like, yes, you did. You said it repeatedly. And then he blocked me after I was like, all right, you're starting to personally. It was that dude. He claimed he was there last night. Adele, I'll just say this right now. Wasn't even an SEA coach. I had somebody else text me his tweet and was like, did you see him there? And I was like, no. We all know who he is. We all know what he looks like.
Do?
We all know who he is.
Okay.
And everything. And and so it's like he's pretending he was there. Maybe he was there and he just hid in a corner. Be hard for him to hide in a corner, if you know what I mean. But there's some doubt that he was there because he said he enjoyed talking to coaches. And I was like, it must be satire again. That guy just makes stuff up to try to be relevant. And it just cracks me up and everything. And I'm just going to have some fun this year because I don't like people like him around high school kids. They're dangerous. Let's just leave it at that.
And he covers
2A and 3A.
2A and 3, okay.
Yeah. That's what he talks about and stuff like that. I'll put it this way, Dale. He's one of the reasons why probably the AIA changed their credential process. If you know that process.
Yeah, well, I know that process because I had to go through that process. Background checks. Fingerprints.
I know. I was gonna do it this year because for Desert Ridge and then Queen Creek teams we go to and stuff, and obviously SEA I don't need a credential because as Dale knows, I get carte blanche when I'm up there with whatever. Last year I was the whatever. What am I thinking of? The headset fixer guy. Last year at one point.
Park with the coaches.
Yeah, I do. I talking advice there with Ty, the offensive coordinator last year. At halftime, he walked up to me and, what do you think? And I was like, I would throw an out pattern. I would throw a ZQL pattern to the right. I was like, let me throw up college football 27. I'll let you know what I think in a minute.
Hey, Ethan. Really quick, go on the computer.
Go load up that PS. Yeah, go load up the game and tell me what Coach recommends on that. But so that was my last night, Dale. Good time.
Yeah.
And everything. What'd you do last night? With the rain, how'd you go? With the weather, hot and humid?
You know what? It wasn't too bad till probably the last 3 or 4 holes when the wind had died down and that humidity was moving in.
When we left here yesterday, we walked outside and it was like, whew.
Yeah.
Can't breathe out here. What the heck is this? It was different. And then, of course, big storm. You get a lot of rain last night?
We did. It was more cloudy and it moved in. I think it rained more in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's what it did out at our place and everything.
And I kind of slept through that, but thank goodness.
Did your dog sleep through it?
I think Brooke was up a couple times with our dog.
Dale was grumpy with his dog keeps waking him up in the middle of the night.
I kind of have those new dad ears that where you don't hear the pitch of the baby's cry.
Close it down.
Yeah.
The lady's like, hey, the kid's crying, and you're like, no, I don't hear anything.
No, I'm gonna sleep through that.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about out there?
It'll be fine.
I know. I got Ireland. Ireland's got that back to school sickness right now. So the other day I noticed she was all stuffy, and I was like, "Are you stuffy?" She's like, "No, I'm fine. Why?" And I was like, "Nah, I hear some stuffiness in you." Yesterday she texted me at 11:30 and was like, "I'm not gonna survive. I can't breathe. This is ridiculous." So I went and got her from school. It was a half day, but I went and picked her up from school and everything. And when I got her medicine, and she was out. She took that medicine, was just out. But she went to school today. She has a couple tests. She's like, I got a Spanish test. I got to go today. I'm like, all right, go and survive. don't go dying on us.
They've been in school for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
right?
like a month now.
Okay.
It's like they're like a month now.
Yeah.
It'll be a month next week. Yeah. So this is their third or fourth week. Yeah. So about time you come home with something, with all the other ickiness.
Yes.
Around there, being in the same spaces and everything. So let's deal with that a little bit last night as well and stuff. But Dale, tonight, watched yesterday during the day, watched that Diamondbacks game.
Yeah, your boys. They are definitely your boys.
5 and after their big homestand, now they're exactly 500 again. On this homestand. Off today, so the good news is can't lose today. No off day.
So they can only fall a half game behind.
Yeah,
half game more behind.
Really quick, just still up the NL wildcard standings because I don't want to spend a ton of time on this with Lou coming today. Let's stay positive today.
Okay.
5-5 in their last 10. Third playoff spot, tied with the Phillies because Phillies have lost their last 2 as well. Padres swept the Brewers. Like I said, Padres are going to be in this fight. You got 3 teams battling this out. Marlins are making a run, though, folks. They're only 1.5 games out right now. They've won 4 in a row themselves. The difference is I think the Marlins will play themselves into it and then go on a losing streak again and play them way out of it. I'm not worried about them being in this for the long term, but it is something to monitor out there and things to that effect. But the problem is this. Phillies were playing a team in the playoffs. Padres were playing the Brewers, a team in the playoffs. And you were playing the worst team in Major League, at least in the National League, I should say. You were playing that team, and you lost 2 out of 3 to the worst team in the National League. And the other guys, Phillies lost 2, but they were playing a competitive team, right, and everything. And you've got the Braves and the Braves and the Reds? Or is this the Brave and I know it's Braves. Or is it Braves and Phillies?
Braves and Reds.
Oh, so it is Braves and Reds coming up here. You got a hard schedule here, man, and this was your chance. Red Sox. It was Braves and Red Sox on a road trip coming up for 6 for the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. The Reds and Cubs are at home here the following week. You can't go and lose 2 out of 3 to the worst team in the National League and expect to stay alive in this thing. It's just brutal. It's just brutal. And then you break records while you do it, Dale. They're the second team in Major League Baseball history to lose a 9-inning game when they had 11 hits and 10 walks in that game, and they failed to score 5 runs. And Torre yesterday after the game was like, well, I just felt like we didn't attack properly. We were swinging at some pitchers' counts. You've been doing this all year. It's August 13th, Dale.
Well, you had the bases loaded there late in the game. You get 1 more run walked in. You don't take advantage of that, and it just.
Well, that's the other side. The game wasn't as close as the final score will lead you to think it is. They mounted a small comeback in that game. It just this hitting thing is just frustrating. Kills you, just kills you when you're watching these games. Just absolutely just. Makes you want to throw your TV. I get why people crash their TVs when their football teams lose. Yeah. The Colorado Rockies, for the first time in 4 years, just won a series on the road against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's not very good.
4 years. It's not that you lose games because you're going to lose games. It's that you are now in the playoff chase. You from 2 weeks ago until the end of the season, you're fighting for a playoff spot.
Right.
Your opponents were playing competitive playoff teams, and you were not. And you can't win that series. How do you go from splitting the series against the Padres, who are a playoff competitive team, sweeping the Dodgers, or 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers? They should have swept the Dodgers, but 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, to losing a series against the worst team in National League? You just nullified all the good you did before by losing that series. It's frustrating. It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe
I'm tired of it.
Maybe all they need to do is just play competitive teams. Steve, it was a letdown. I heard your boy.
Is that what they said?
It's an inevitable letdown.
You can't have a letdown against the Rockies. You just can't. You can't.
That's human nature, Steve.
Stupidity.
You go from playing.
Who said that? A radio host, or are we talking somebody on the team?
The president.
Derek Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. The letdown.
Hey, all the energy over the weekend. 45,000 people.
This is the problem.
On your feet.
This is the problem. You're making excuses for losing to the worst team in the National League. You're making excuses. Oh, it's a letdown. It's inevitable. That's an excuse. You know who doesn't have inevitable letdowns? Teams that want to make the playoffs.
Or teams that aren't going to make the playoffs, like Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado steps up. It would be one thing if you were in Colorado and the Rockies were just hitting home runs galore in that huge ballpark they're used to playing in there. So that'd be one thing. You lost at home to the worst team in the National League when your opponents you're competing against were playing teams in the playoffs. It's just infuriating to watch it. I don't get it. And then just to watch, I didn't see those comments because I probably would have crashed my car. But it's just the whole lean back and be like, oh, it happens. Now we got to move on. What?
Steve, the thing you're going to have to keep your eye on the whole time, and I don't even think you need to look at the score. I think you just look at one statistic. Runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's gotten brutal.
If they're 50%, they're going to have a chance because they're getting base runners. Not like they don't get base runners.
That's where it's frustrating. They had 11 hits, 10 walks yesterday.
Yeah.
Score 4 runs. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to do that? It's so hard to do that only 2 teams now have done it, and Diamondbacks are one of them. It's almost impossible to do that, Dale. And they do it.
3 of 12 yesterday.
It was brutal watching that. Thank God it was on during the day, so most people couldn't watch it.
What are you going to do? I mean, you were jumping up and down on your chair and on the desk and all that when they traded for Nootbaar. What do you do with him?
First of all, I did not do that.
He of batting 120.
Yeah, you need Lawler. You need Lawler back. Lawler's hit 2 home runs back-to-back games now. You need Lawler back, and you need Gurriel back. That's what we need back. And I'm not even sold Gurriel's going to be spectacular when he comes back. I'm a little worried about him coming back because when he came back earlier this season, he struggled for a little bit, started to pick it up before he got hurt again. You need those 2 guys back. I want to see those 2 guys. I'm done with the Kepler, Nootbaar experience. It's brutal. You got to figure out this hitting thing. And I don't get why we have to continue to go through this stuff.
Well, you're waiting for those replacements, Steve. They're right around the corner.
That what we're waiting for?
Right around the corner.
We've been hearing that the whole time as well as on that. Good news, though, for the Diamondbacks. Let's get off that negativity. Good news for the Diamondbacks, man. This gentleman, before he turned 26 years old, 100 Major League Baseball homers, 50 Major League Baseball triples before the age of 26. We're talking about Corbin Carroll, folks. Yesterday, he crossed that level. Do you know the amount, the quality of player he is with by doing that?
Well, I know one is Willie Mays.
No, that's a different stat. I'll get to that one in a second. Yeah, this one is guys. Maybe you've heard of him: Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Joe Medwick. I know of him, but he's not the biggest name out there. But Joe DiMaggio's in that list. Vada Pinson's in that list. I have no idea who that is. But you're in the thing with Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio mainly, right? For that level at that point, right?
Well, and remember the thing about when those guys were playing, a lot of these ballparks were humongous.
Yeah, they didn't move fences in.
Yeah,
like
humongous.
And they were eating hamburgers, hot dogs, and beer before the game and after the game and all that stuff. Like they didn't have the strength regimen you got today.
Right.
They weren't going out and lifting weights and getting stronger and working on their swing, right? The one you're talking about is the only player in Major League Baseball history to reach 50-plus triples. He's has 57 of them, 100 home runs, 100-plus stolen bases. He has 139 of those within 650 career games. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go up into the 700 career games level, that's where he's in the category with Willie Mays.
Okay.
He's with Willie Mays, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, and all of these. How fast he's doing this stuff, and this is a 500 team.
They're not 500.
They're 5-5 in the last 10.
Out of the last 10, but Steve, what is their record?
Dale, they went Padres, Dodgers, Rockies,
Yep.
and they're 5-5.
Yeah, the best team in the league, and the Dodgers with a really good team.
And by the way, you won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. You won 2 out of 4 against the Padres, and you still ended up 5-5. It's a joke.
64-58.
I didn't realize Derek Hall said it was just an inevitable letdown. Well, now we're just being too harsh on him, folks. Oh, we should just be fine with it. Diamondbacks are fine with it. Why aren't we fine with it, with their nonsense yesterday? Just disgusting.
I also heard it was a little warm in there yesterday.
Oh, is that what the humidity got to?
Yeah.
Mel Kelly didn't have a cramp, though, like he normally does.
Well, he didn't pitch long enough.
Robert says the Padres will separate from the Phillies and D-backs. I tend to agree with you on that, Robert. The Padres went in epic slumps with hitting this is the problem that I have. The Padres went into an epic slump where like Machado was batting like .02 at one point during this season. I mean, it was just, I'm exaggerating, but it was just absolutely terrible. Padres were sucking. Now they've woken up. How come the Padres can figure out how to start hitting when they go into a big slump and get snap out of it and start hitting? But we're August 13th and we're still dealing with the Diamondbacks not being able to hit and timely hits and everything. Why can one team be coached out of it and another team not? That's a legitimate question that you can have, folks. Why are the Padres bats waking up all of a sudden? And Diamondbacks aren't. There's the same old Diamondbacks. Why is it?
Well, now, come on. Just because they've woken up now, 2 weeks ago, you were wondering what's wrong with San Diego Padres.
You're absolutely right. But that's my point.
Yeah.
Where's the Diamondbacks wake up to where they go on a 5-game winning streak?
They were almost the first place in wild card,
They did not. The Diamondbacks have never gone on a 5-game winning streak. The Padres were one of the hottest teams in baseball when they played the Diamondbacks. Ended up winning 2 out of those 4 games, and then they get done with the Diamondbacks and they go on a hot streak again and won 5 in a row again. So Diamondbacks haven't done that,
so they can't beat the Padres. They can't beat the Diamondbacks.
Okay, but where's the how come the Padres can wake up hitting when they're in a slump, but the Diamondbacks still struggle with it? Why? It's infuriating. But I tend to agree with Robert. I think the last wild card spot's going to be between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks when it's all said and done. I do think you're going to be battling with those two teams are going to be battling back and forth. Neither one of these teams are going to go on a big run to pull themselves apart. And if they go up 2 games or something, they'll come back down to earth, and stuff like that. I think it's between these two teams. Now, can the Marlins? I told you, I think the Marlins will play themselves into it and then fall out of it again in big fashion. But I think you're playing against, and you have the Phillies coming up on the schedule here as well, and everything. So it's going to be interesting. Ann says the number of singles with 2 outs drives me crazy. Robert says against 3 mediocre right-hand pitchers, no less, the D-backs do struggle mightily against right-handed pitching. Yeah, and it's just throw the ball high, throw that not the slider, throw that the big movement ball. I forget the name of it now. Was that sweeper? Throw that. And then throw high fastballs, and the Diamondbacks you'll get them out of the game, or they'll pop it up or something. He says Gurriel only struggled when he played.
Wow.
But is anybody tired of this Nootbaar and Kepler experiment? It's not working out, man. Which isn't a surprise because Nootbaar wasn't good this year when they traded for him. And Kepler was on a, 82 game suspension.
Well, at least if they make the playoffs and Kepler can't play, they're not going to miss him.
Robert says hope is not a tactic. I just feel like the Diamondbacks operate off of feelings and hope. Oh, we know we can do it. We hope we can do it. We can do this, right, guys? Instead of buckling down and fixing the errors. Again, compare the Padres to the Diamondbacks on how their hitting is gone this season. Sit down and do it, folks. I'll do it for you. Padres were in a huge slump. People be going into the trade deadline at one point, about 3 weeks, a month before that, people were like, Padres are going to be unloading some of this talent, like Machado and stuff, because they're not hitting. They're just not hitting. They're sucking out there. These are $30, $50 million players not hitting the baseball, and they can't. It's not sustainable. They're going to unload them. And then, boom, wake up. Start hitting the ball. And the Diamondbacks are like, oh, well, we can be better. We will be. We'll get there. It's August 13th.
Hey, are you really... You said you're not going to spend much time on it.
And now I'm on a rant. Now I'm so annoyed.
Now you're on this whole thing. Wait till I'm gone
I'm so riled up right now. With this,
how about your Arizona Cardinals tonight, Steven? Hey, is that more positive?
Well, right now it is. We'll see later on today. Let's get into that because Dale takes off early today to go over to do his KUPD hit over there and everything. So I did want to ask you, tonight, Cardinals, Raiders, 5 p.m. is when that happened. Really quick, before I'll talk more about other games coming up here, but throw up tonight's preseason schedule. Every team starts playing this weekend. Obviously, the Cardinals is their second preseason game as well. 5 p.m. I don't know what ESPN Unlimited is, but it's supposedly on that channel there. And, of course, locally as well, I believe on Channel 12 as well tonight coming up here. But you do see games there, right? Now, whose starters are playing? This is their first preseason game, so, very limited action type of stuff and things to that effect. And we'll talk Joey Burrow here with Cincinnati in a little bit after Dale leaves with Jaden Daniels' demand yesterday. Man, that kid needs to shut his mother up.
What on earth was that all about?
Yeah. Hey, Jaden, you weren't as good as Joey B was, pal. And Joey B's not doing it, so shut up and sit down. You should be worried about your commander's side of things.
If you retire everybody's number who thinks their number should be retired.
He ain't going in before his number 5's not being retired before number 9 is for the LSU. Joey Burrow was. If you weren't around for that, you missed out on possibly one of the greatest quarterbacking jobs that Joe Burrow did for the LSU Tigers that year.
Smoking a cigar.
Oh, that awesome. Just Joe Cool back there.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'll talk about that coming up. But Cardinals tonight, obviously a lot of football tonight, 3 games tomorrow, and then a lot of people on Saturday coming up here. But Cardinals tonight, you've talked about it before, what you want to see, especially with the starters. Play a series or 2 tonight type of a situation and everything. So remind everybody what you're looking for tonight in the star-studded event.
Just more of the same. I mean, obviously they put up a lot of points as a team last week, but what I want to see, I would hope the starters play 2 series. I'd love to see that get into a little
even if they go on a long drive in the first series and score?
No, if they go 10, 12 play drive, like Beck took them on last week.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Then get them out. But if it's 4 or 5 plays, let them play 10 to 12.
You want to see 10 or 12 plays is what you're getting. Okay.
Right.
I wanted to be clear on that.
And I want to see the smoothness again. I want to see Brissett now getting the plays from the sideline, calling the play. Everything looks smooth, no false starts, turnovers, all those things that we put those behind us. And then again, if you want to pick out a couple individual battles, if the right side's playing and any of the Raiders starters are playing, I mean, I kind of doubt it.
We don't know yet who's playing. I kind of
doubt we'll see Max Crosby out there, and
not in the first one,
and some of those guys, unless he's battling their quarterback on the sideline.
Yeah.
A fight breaks out in the Raiders sideline. Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby going at it.
Well, the matchup I'm looking forward to watching tonight is I think their rookie guy. He was so good last week. He was raking. So now again, secondary. I want to see what he can do against better talent out there. I'm talking about, of course, I just forgot his name.
I was going to say, what position?
The tackle. Chase Pasantis.
Oh, the guard.
I kept thinking Brissett as the quarterback. Yeah, the guard. I'm sorry. Yeah, not the tackle. I think he's your future in that right side guard position.
Very well.
I think he can win this job over Adams And maybe not to start the season, but he will get that job over Adams during this season if Adams gets injured or something to that effect. Man, I want to see that kid playing against first teamers, second teamers. I don't want to see him coming in the third quarter tonight and playing against those guys. This kid is special. I like the way he's playing. I liked what I saw in the Hall of Fame game. That's not a knock on Adams. I just think he's an improvement over Adams. Then you got Adams' legal stuff. You don't know how it's going to come of that.
Well, that's something right there.
Yeah, and so I think at some point this season you'll see that position switch. But now's the time to see it. I want to see him go up against those guys and stuff to that effect. That's the position. Watch the right side of the offensive line, because you could see some changes coming up there on the starter side and everything. So that's the one I'm excited to watch tonight. And then just see – I know it's a scale back offense, but I want to see kind of what they have Jacoby Brissett working with here with passing downfield. I want to see some passes downfield. I also want to see some runs and obviously some short passes to some running backs. I want to see a variation of the offense tonight. It's not going to be your final offense, but I just don't want to see a stale offense of hand the ball off, flare pattern to Trey McBride or whoever, and then they're off the field. Vary it up. Show some things out there.
I would love to see a couple passes targeted for Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, you got to see that.
I'd like to see him catch a couple balls and just absolutely have a non-noteworthy game.
Yeah, just two easy passes. He catches them.
Gain 10 yards, 12 yards, 8 yards, and then get off.
Exactly. And then build that momentum going forward. And not go out there and drop a pass.
Now, if he drops that first pass,
depends on the situation.
No, if it's like we've seen him in some of the practices.
Here's his problem, and I'm going to be honest with you. Here's his problem. He can have a pass knocked down by the defender, and the defender makes it just an unbelievable play. Everybody's going to say Marvin Harrison can't catch those types of balls. So it needs to be like one of those. Nobody's on him, flare it to him, catch right in the numbers so he can catch it casually and go on. Because you can't allow the defender to make a play because it will be interesting. Really quick, Dale, before you take off, I was looking at power rankings. I hate power rankings. I think they're stupid. They're just made up numbers. But we pay attention to it because it's the view of the national media of your local teams. This is fascinating. A lot of people are saying Cardinals have no chance against the Giants in New York early in the season. Right? People are saying the Commanders is going to be a tough game for the Cardinals when they play them. The Jets, they're not even favored against the Jets. They're 1-point underdogs at home against the Jets.
Still.
They have the Raiders on their schedule end of the season as well. NFL.com has the Cardinals at rank 26th in terms of power polls. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I must be thinking that Carson Beck's going to play a lot.
Actually, he starts off with, once you're done sipping the Carson Beck Kool-Aid, he goes, come take a seat with me and consider where the Cardinals are right now. Right? Veteran bridge quarterback. A lot of talent on this team, folks, at least on the offensive side as well. And then you got Trey McBride, then you add Love into that and stuff to that. And everybody's expecting Marvin Harrison to have an uptick this year, and we hope it's coming. But yeah, 26 for a team that everybody's saying is in the play for the number 1 draft pick. NFL. So that was surprising by itself. Then check this out. 27, New York Giants. 28, Cleveland Browns, who they don't play. 29th, Commanders. 30th, Jets. 31st, Raiders.
Those are 3 or 4 teams on their schedule.
Dale, I'm going to go out spending my over 3.5 money later on today. Here it comes, baby.
Hey, and a word to the wise, if you got $10 laying around, you might want to throw it on the Giants tonight. Or tomorrow, whenever they play.
I think they play tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, whenever they play, because you've already forgotten. What does John Harbaugh do?
Yeah, he wins in preseason.
Yes. Yeah, doesn't win the playoffs.
You know what the difference is, though? He had talent in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He's got a lack of talent. People don't realize. I told you that New York. This actually surprises me because a lot of people are like, "Oh, that division." I'm like, man, I think the Eagles are going to win that division, but then I think it's going to be a jumbled mess afterwards. But they have the Giants and the Commanders. 27, Giants 27th, Commanders 29th in this power poll. Cowboys, by the way, are 11th, Dale.
Yeah, we'll talk about them as we're getting closer to the season, but I think that the stars might be aligning.
For the Giants? Preseason or the Cardinals?
The stars might be aligning.
Are you talking about the Cowboys?
For your Dallas Cowboys, Steven.
Whatever, Dak will do something to screw it up. It depends on the offense. If they have a running game, Dak is really good with the running game.
No, it'll depend on the defense, just like the Cardinals.
I agree with that.
They got to stop some. I mean,
they need a pass rusher because they got rid of the good one and they had to refill that spot.
Yeah, they need a pass rush.
Dale, get out of here. For everybody else, I'll keep it rolling. I will talk this Jaden Daniels situation because LSU's learning.
Knucklehead.
Everybody's learning about the true Jaden Daniels here and his family and everything running the show. We'll talk about that. Like I said, the main thing for me that's insulting about this is acting like you're better than Joey Burrows, man.
If every player did a little something, I know he won the Heisman.
1 of 3.
Yeah.
1 of 3. But Joe Burrow, only 3 people at LSU have won a Heisman.
Oh, okay.
1 of 3. But what did Joe Burrow do that Jaden Daniels didn't do?
I think he won a national championship, didn't he?
And to act like you're insulted that somebody's wearing your number, man, Commanders can't lose fast enough. Come on back, folks. Main event. And we're back here. Suns, by the way, NBA schedule will be out later on today. We've seen some snippets, right? Opening night. We've seen the Christmas Day schedules. We know the Suns have a few games during Dwayne Rankin. Of course, AZ Central's put out a couple like November games that they got as well. And, so we're seeing it leak out a little bit, but the full NBA schedule will be out later today for those of you that matter. And, a lot of talk lately about, the Ishbia's company and how it's tanked. It's really stepped up. We brought it to you guys a week ago. Now, of course, I do McCollum on business. I pay attention to business stuff. It's one of my passions out there. So we were on that last week when the stock tanked and he had to put money back into the company, or his company had to put into it. They suspended their dividend and everything. But now it's really getting play here from people around town, especially on the social media side of it. On paper, it's not going to affect the Suns at all in terms of spending and stuff like that initially. Now, over time, it could be a different story that happens there, but it is a true threat. Because if you don't know how it works, these guys use their owning of sports teams as write-offs for their other stuff that makes them money. So it is interesting to see that narrative kind of coming out with a lot of question marks from people and stuff like that. They let Hightower, who they just signed as a free agent in February, they released him yesterday off of the roster. I was trying to dig into why. Is it money saving? Yeah, technically, but not a huge amount. So it's fascinating to see. But the NBA 2027 schedule is out today. We'll keep our eyes on that. The basketball schedule is nothing like how many back-to-backs do you have? How many long road trips on the East Coast? When do those happen? Type of stuff. Back-to-backs, are they home and homes? Are they on the road? Those types of stuff is what you look for the NBA schedule, of course, coming up. We know, I don't have it in front of me, but we know their opponents for the, NBA Cup games, if you care about that situation. You've got to look at that. But it is, NBA schedule out there. Really quick, as we said, Cardinals tonight, 5 p.m. from Las Vegas. It'll be interesting to see. I was looking this morning. I've heard some rumors about the Raiders and who they're going to play and how much and things to that stuff, but nothing definitive from anybody. We do know Cardinal starters are going to start one or two drives here tonight and then turn it over to the backups here. Brissett, obviously that does include him out there getting some live action tonight. But another game, I just want to see fluidness. Watch that right side of the line. I think there's a real competition between Adams and the rookie there. We just talked about that. It's going to be interesting to watch that and just see the offense play calling and how it does it stay open like it did last week a little bit, or are we just going to get conservative offense here in preseason? Last week was a refreshing sight without Petzing here running that stick in the mud offense that he ran the last couple of years as well. So we talked about the power rankings, a little bit of a surprise. 26 for the Cardinals, with some of the teams on their schedule behind them, at least in the initial power rankings here by NFL.com, is what we saw there as well. So football's back, baby. Ethan, if you have it, put up that schedule for tonight again, just for preseason tonight. 3 games tomorrow and then a bunch on Saturday. Obviously, and like I said, I went through and was just looking who's planning on playing. Like Indianapolis tonight, Richardson's going to get a lot of playing time tonight for the Colts. He's their third stringer. They're profiling him to hopefully trade him here before cuts happen. So you'll see a lot of him tonight. New England, we'll see what they do, stuff like that. Chargers, they don't play a lot of their starters in the preseason as well. We'll see going into it with their injuries that they're always concerned about there in LA, right? San Francisco has huge injury problems. You're not going to see anybody on that top level for them playing tonight. Most likely, as they just nurse it, they kind of baby them out there. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, right? You're going to see Jonathan Gannon's defense. If you want to tune into that at 4 o'clock, tonight, as Gannon is the defensive coordinator of Green Bay. Don't expect to see Aaron Rodgers, right? He said, McCarthy asked me to play every preseason game. Well, we'll see if that comes to fruition tonight in Pittsburgh as well. But there's your games tonight for you. Of course, the one we're interested in is there are our home team here in Phoenix, at least, the Arizona Cardinals, and we'll pay attention to what else happens out there as well. But I want to spend a little bit of in-depth here before Lou gets in here at 9 o'clock. I want to get a little bit in depth on this Jayden Daniels situation, if you haven't heard about this. Jayden Daniels, obviously Arizona State, transferred out late, said he was staying here, transferred out late, went to LSU, wins the Heisman Trophy, some good success there, wins the Heisman Trophy, and now, of course, Washington Commanders. If you missed the story, he didn't just come out and ask LSU to not use his number or give the number to somebody, anything to that effect. Didn't even ask about it. He sent a cease and desist letter to LSU about his number and everything. What? Again, I get it. You won the Heisman Trophy. Sources are saying that he's deeply troubled. He's very upset that they gave his number 5, to a cornerback, who, by the way, is a good cornerback for LSU as well. And so that's what Jayden Daniels is focused on going into training camp going on with the Commanders. He's that upset about it. Folks, make no mistake about it. It's coming from Jayden Daniels' team, which includes family members who worry themselves with stuff like this. And LSU, if they didn't know already, but LSU's learning the true Jayden Daniels. Selfish, only cares about himself. Focuses on these types of things, these me things out there and stuff like that. But again, I bring up my whole point here. First thing I thought of, Joe Burrow. Like, who at LSU was more important in the pantheon of players on that team, right? And Joe Burrow or Jayden Daniels? First thing I thought, like how ballsy are you to be upset that your number's still being used, and they can't use his name, image, and likeness anymore at LSU because he's so mad about it. Yeah, DJ Pickett is the cornerback that got the number 5 as well, but he sent a cease and desist letter to LSU. Can't use his NIL and stuff to that. It's just unbelievable tone deafness by Jayden Daniels. And especially because there was a better quarterback there. Quarterback got him the national championship. Joe Burrow doesn't even have his stuff gone. I reached out to a couple huge LSU fans that I know yesterday when this story came out last night. And they were emphatic. Joey Burrow. J-Baby. means more to the LSU program than Jaden Daniels did. Now, you can argue, like RG3's out there saying every Heisman Trophy winner's number should be retired at the school that they win it at. I don't disagree with that, actually. You win a Heisman Trophy, you're putting your team on the map. You retire that number as that team, right? We win Heismans. There's the guys that won Heismans. I think that's a fantastic idea. But if you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. Jersey retirements are an honor. Now Jaden Daniels is demanding that it happens. Colossal mistake. You're losing that battle all the time, right? You don't demand that stuff. It happens to you. Then you're trying to, not only that, you're demanding it, you're strong-arming them. You can't use my NIL, my likeness, right? My name, image, and likeness. You can't put my stuff. You can't use my videos for my games. You can't use my picture to showcase LSU. What? Yeah. The bigger problem here is forget about the argument between Jaden Daniels and LSU. LSU, he's pitting himself against LSU fans. LSU will survive without showcasing Jaden Daniels because they had a better quarterback there in Joe Burrows. So they'll survive without showcasing Jaden Daniels. He can be forgotten as an LSU quarterback while they hype up other stars on that team. Think of all the stars. Now, not Heisman Trophy winners. I get that. I would actually argue Heisman Trophy winners aren't that special. It's kind of a joke award out there and stuff like that. But you're setting yourself up against the fan base as Jaden Daniels. You're basically telling your fan base, sorry, guys, you don't get me. You don't get to use me or talk about me or anything like that. Because I'm the great Jaden Daniels. When you put yourself up against another legend on the team, again, Joe Burrows, that's not a good look. Not a good look at all. You're gonna have people turn against you that were all out. I know LSU fans from that era that to this day, when they reach out to me and talk to me, first thing they say is, "Oh, wish you would have had Jaden Daniels there and kept him there, huh?" It's just constant needling, right, on that. Now you're going to put yourself in this gap between the fans and you guys and you, to where the fans are going to be like, yeah, you know, I don't get what the movement is and everything. He said he felt profoundly disrespected was the word. I was trying to find the wording. Profoundly disrespected is what he's saying he is because his number was given to somebody else. And the better quarterback, the guy that brought a championship to LSU. Just nothing. Just, allowing this stuff to happen. Quarterbacking in Cincinnati, trying to get better in Cincinnati. And right here in the middle of training camp, Jaden Daniels, that lawyer's not just sending that letter without approval. He's worried about that type of stuff. Really? And I'm just telling you, between those, he's picking a fight with a legend in Joe Burrow. I think majority of LSU fans will choose Joe Burrow over Jaden Daniels. You have a chance here to wash your history away at LSU and act like you weren't there. If that's what you want, Jaden Daniels, I'm sure they'll oblige you. But LSU fans, my favorite part about this is, and it's, and it's not a good thing, but it is kind of funny to sit back and watch, LSU fans being shocked of what that Jaden Daniels is this way. This kind of cracked me up a little bit, Yeah. But if you're, forget about now you got the LSU angle we just talked about. You're right in the middle of training camp. You're coming off of a big injury. New offensive coordinator for the Commanders this year. Expectations are high for the Commanders, and it rides on your shoulders. And you're going into your first weekend of preseason games, at least the Commanders are, and this is the distraction you want out there on top of it. Guess what everybody's going to be asking the Commanders and Jaden Daniels when they meet and stuff like that. This is an important season coming up for Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. And this is how it's starting, a distraction over your number at LSU. I get it. You don't care about what people think about you? Cool, fine, whatever. You get that side. Why push people away, man? And, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, defend Jaden Daniels and say, well, it's not Jaden, it's the people around him. I got news for you, folks. He hires them. He allows them to do it. Jaden Daniels. It is Jaden Daniels because though he wants that attitude there. If he didn't, they would all be blown out today and he'd be out apologizing going, that's not what I want. I'm done. I'm sorry. That's not what I want. I've replaced everybody that even thought this was what I wanted. It comes from him, folks. It's time to stop doing it. Stop defending the guy. He sent a cease and desist. It wasn't a public comment. Like he could have gone to the microphones at at Commander's practice and been like, it's kind of insulting. They're using my number still. I did it. Why won a Heisman from him, and said it publicly. He had a lawyer send a cease and desist to them. Who does that? Who has done that ever? Jaden Daniels. The lore continues. And I agree with the take. It's people around him. I agree with that 1,000%. If you know his history here in Arizona, and who was running the show at practices and sitting on the benches at practice and stuff like that, then you know what we're talking about here and who it is and things to that effect. 1,000% out there. But it's just PR moves and baffling moves like this. Like these people that work for Jaden Daniels should be looking out for him. And they're not. They're complicating the things for him. They should be looking out for his interests. Jaden, now's not the time to have this argument. You're in the middle of training camp. Let's not talk about your number at LSU. Let's not talk about your NIL at LSU and stuff to that effect. And this is going to be interesting because LSU owns like the copyrights and stuff like that. I wonder what the breakdown is like on using old clips of his or an image of him around the facilities. Do they need, this is the questions I come up with, do they need Jaden Daniels' permission to showcase him as a player that was there and won the Heisman Trophy? That's an interesting question that kind of just comes up, right? That kind of just gets squashed over. It's something I got to figure out because I'm fascinated by that portion of it. Do they need his approval? Because he played there. I'm sure there's some leeway on if you make money off of it or something to that effect. I'm sure there's something to pay attention to, at least from that perspective. But Jaden Daniels, angry human being for no reason. And when you think you're better than everybody else, like I said, there's somebody there that was better than you, named Joe Burrow. And you're you're upset about stuff that the greats there at LSU aren't upset about. Looks cheesy, man. This would be like me going after David Letterman or somebody, Well, I did this. Yeah, but David Letterman did it better. I'm like, I don't care. Why pick those fights? What I'm getting at out there as well, folks. Hey, when we come back, second hour, we got Uncle Lou coming in here. Diamondbacks off today. We get a break from them and that disaster of a Colorado series. Cardinals tonight, though. Multiple NFL games. I showed you the schedule tonight and, some things being happening around that side of it. We'll talk about that with Uncle Lou. But big news this weekend, UFC 330 coming up. Get into that as well. It's coming back. It's the main event.